delegates and dignitaries present here in day 2, session 1 of Safety Convention, 20th Safety Convention, on the theme Safety Hazards in Oil and Power Sector, as well as in gas sector also. To chair this session, now I call Sri P.K. Sinha sir, ex-Executive Director, Safety, Sustainability, Environment and Ash Management, NTPC. Sri Sinha sir having a, now I request to Praveen ji to Sri Sinha sir having around 4 decades of experience in various domain of the power sector, and in the last they work as executive director in the main key role in corporate sector of safety, environment, ash management and sustainability, which is the high demand in today's scenario to govern a company or to maintain a company in an international level. Out of the around 40 years, Sri Sinha sir worked in NTPC for 36 years and also had their NTPC one of the plant in KBUNL, Kanti. And Sri Sinha sir also worked as a board member of NTPC joint venture with GE as a NGEL, and where he look after various domain. And out of entire career, Sinha sir has most of the work in turbine area, so he is one of the expert in turbine. And right now he is also giving their services in ESG area as well as in technically in turbine area. So I welcome Sri Sinha sir in this session. And now I call Sri A.K. Pandey ji, a speaker in this session. Sri Pandey ji is Deputy General Manager Fire and Safety, also a Chief Safety Officer of IFCO Avla plant. And Pandey ji has their vast experience, around 35 years, mainly in establishing an ammonia plant in India and abroad. He is a graduate in engineering, having MTech in HSC and post diploma also in industrial safety from RLI Kanpur. In this series now I call Sri Chandan Sai ji. He is Additional General Manager NTPC, right now working in safety from last 7 years. He is an electrical graduate MBA from Delhi University. He's done various programs, training and courses in abroad also. He also elected for 1 year training in from Federal Republic, Germany. And in the expertise and the leadership of Sri Chandan Sai ji, NTPC Khargone also won International Safety Award from British Safety Council. And now I call Sri Sanjeev Agrawal ji. He's past member and he is an electrical engineering graduate and MBA as well as MTech. Presently working with MTNL, and majorly he is looking after the electrical and electronic systems in MTNL and specialization in the earthing. And he also work as a faculty for the various courses of AMI with IEI and other institutions. And he will give some light on challenges on electrical safety and signification of the earthing. So, to continuing session, I call Sinha sir to start few words to start this session.
Good morning, everybody. Uh, Thank you, Harish, for giving a nice and detailed whereabout about me. Uh, in one line, I will say that I am an industry man and fully committed to safety, which I feel is the basic need today for the entire community. So, my uh, fellow speakers today, when I was invited for this particular session, I was really delighted that yes, we are talking the basics of safety of the power industry. I can see the participants all across the industry. So definitely these are the things which we need to address today, because in the rush of business, in the rush of our daily day-to-day pressure, we forget the basics. And all of you are professional, you know that in power and oil and gas sector, the 5 major issues which are very much critical, and there we miss many times the basics, like fall or electrical hazard, uh, or the road safety ho. And one of the key thing is confined space. So naturally, talking about the basic will be definitely a learning for all of us. Along with that, I will also request and hope that our speakers will talk about the Industry 5.0. There are a lot of changes taking place, digitalization, data. So accordingly, the power sector and ONG or the oil and gas sector, they are also equally impacted. I will not say affected. There is need of power. So with the kind of change, fast change taking place, the basics has to be knitted along with those needs to improve the business. So I can see that there is a bouquet of talk from our learned speakers. Mr. Pandey, who will be talking of safety measures taken during decommissioning, a very critical thing, and hope that we will be enlightened a lot, because he will be talking about ammonia storage tank. And ammonia, you know that it's one of the biggest hazard in any industry to handle it during decommissioning. Then our Chandan Sahiji talking Safety Act Index. So he will be focusing upon certain index and definitely covering the entire panorama of the basic safety, which is the topic today. And Mr. Sanjeev Agrawal will be talking very pertinent and important topic about challenges of electrical safety and significance. So that is also another key factor to talk about. Sorry, no, no. Please come. So I welcome Mr. Selvaraj also. Mr. Selvaraj will be delivering his own, will be talking in the basics of safety. So without further taking time out of you, what is the time limit? And Harish is also there definitely. He will 1 and 4, 1, 2. We have 5 speakers. Here you will also be speaking. Achha. 3. Achha, achha, achha. You coach. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I will be really delighted to get supplemented if I'm. Okay, so we have 3 speakers. So let me put it since there is no specific rule, 20 minutes to each speaker. So that will be good enough, 20 minutes. And then 5 minutes for question answer. So that will make 1.5 hour, 1 hour 15 minutes. Rest 15 minutes, last 5 minutes I will wrap up. And within that 10 minutes, our fellow speakers will also talk into that. So it's not that you have to speak 20 minutes, you can wrap up early also, but that will be the limit. So without any prejudice. I start from the left side. On my left side, would you like to speak first? Mr. Mr. Pandey, okay. Sure, sure. So I invite Mr. Pandey, DGM, FNS, and Chief Safety Officer, IFCO, Onala Unit. He will be talking upon safety measures taken during decommissioning and recommissioning of ammonia storage tank. A very, very important and critical issue with respect to the confined space and the hazard of the ammonia. So over to you, Mr. Pandey.
हेलो हेलो इस सभागार में उपस्थित सभी डिजिटरी को मेरा नमस्कार। इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ इंजीनियर्स इंडिया के क्वालिटी एंड सेफ्टी फोरम के 20th सेफ्टी कन्वेंशन 2023 के लिए बधाई। सेफ्टी इनोवेशन अवार्ड के सभी जो सम्मानित जो जूरी मेंबर्स हैं और इस इंस्टीट्यूट के जो हमारे पदाधिकारी हैं उनको मैं धन्यवाद देता हूं कि उन्होंने इफ़को आंवला के पेपर प्रेजेंटेशन के लिए हमको इनवाइट किया है और अवार्ड से जो है नवाजा है। ये टेक्निकल सेशन थर्ड ओके टेक्निकल सेशन थर्ड सेफ्टी हैजार्ड्स इन ऑयल एंड गैस पब्लिक पावर इंडस्ट्री is a very important topics here. As Chairman P.K. Sinha ji has already told that confined space safety is a utmost important for oil and gas and power sector. Today, I am going to present a technical session here, the safety measures taken during decommissioning, recommissioning of ammonia storage tank. This is about the content. IFCO, I tell about the IFCO Amla unit, and then ammonia storage tank, the type of ammonia storage tank, and technical detail of ammonia storage tank, process and instrumentation diagram, which is very important for chemical industry. Why was the tank decommissioning is required? As per API 653, we take the guidelines from API. We follow the guideline of API, American Petroleum Institute, and decommissioning activities. What we are do in decommissioning activities, safety measures during the confined space, an innovative idea for use the safe man entry inside the tank. Different NDT tests performed, glimpses of NDT test carried out, and a rope access system. This is a good system to work at a height because the height of our ammonia storage tank is very high. And recommissioning activities, and recommendation and conclusion. First, I tell about the IFCO. 65 IFCO is established for the farmers. Initially, IFCO have only one plant in Kalol. Presently, we have 5 plants in nitrogenous fertilizer and NPK and DAP, phosphoric acid plant and sulfuric acid plant in our Paradeep unit. And recently, we have invented a new product that nano urea and nano DAP. The grassroots project cost of ammonia urea complex is 3,500 crore, and the hazards are too much. But this nano plant is grassroots project cost is only 350 crore, or the hazards are very less in compared to our conventional gas-based fertilizer plant. And about IFCO Amla unit. IFCO Amla unit is situated 28 kilometers from Bareilly, district Bareilly at Amla. Our plant is commissioned, first unit is commissioned in 1988 and second unit is commissioned in 1996. The capacity utilization, in ammonia plant is approximately 110%, on urea plant is 130% and 140%. And the best part of our ammonia IFCO Amla plant, our energy consumption in that time plant in 88 era or 96 era is the minimum worldwide. The ammonia energy consumption is around 7 gigacalorie per metric ton of ammonia, and urea is around 5 gigacalorie per metric ton of urea. This is the lowest worldwide. About the storage, ammonia storage tank. We have 2 ammonia storage tank or of capacity of 10,000 metric ton, and this work at atmospheric pressure from 300 to 500 mm of water column and at a temperature of minus 33 degrees centigrade. Both ammonia tank are cylindrical flat bottom, double wall, double integrity, dome roofed atmospheric above ground as per code API 620. And we also refer for the construction of ammonia tank EN 14620. These ammonia tanks are in service from last 33 years. These are type of ammonia storage tank. Initially, hot and sphere ammonia tank are used at high pressure, and the temperature in the hot and atmosphere is approximately up to the 10 degrees centigrade. Now we are using refrigerant ammonia storage tank. These are the type. IFCO Amla using double wall, double integrity tank. Basically, this tank are safe to use. And fourth one, or worldwide, now we are using double wall, double integrity tank. These are the technical details. The capacity 10,000 metric ton. Inner wall dia is 27.5 meter. Inner cell height is 25.9. Outer dia 29.1. Outer shell 26.7. Maximum level up to 24.7 meter. Not more than 80% of the capacity of the tank. Fluid liquid ammonia design temperature is minus 34 degrees centigrade, and design pressure is from minus 50 to 1050 water column, mm of water column. PSB set pressure is 1050 mm of water column, and vacuum breather opens at 20 mm of water column to minus 20 water column to 50 mm of water column. Forward. This is the process and flow diagram. Ammonia tank receive ammonia from ammonia 1 plant or either ammonia 2 plant. In case when the plant load of the urea plant is reduced, or any one out of 4 urea plant, any one plant is shut down or running is lesser capacity. So ammonia is sent to the ammonia storage tank. The vapor generated in the ammonia storage tank, this ammonia storage tank is facilitated with low level alarm, high level alarm, high level alarm, and high at a maximum level, the inlet control valves operated to set condition, in the closed conditions. And vapor generated from this ammonia storage tank is sent to through blower to ammonia booster compressor. They compressed and again liquefy and sent to the again to the tank. Even though the vapor is generated more, the at a pressure of 500 water column, the refrigeration compressor in ammonia storage tank is automatically started. Even though pressure shoot up, a HIC is there. This HIC valve will open and send all the vapors to the dedicated flare system. Dedicated flare system is also there for the burning of ammonia, excess ammonia vapor. Even though the pressure is not again shoot up, the pilot operated valve at 1050 mm water column is operated, and the capacity of that pilot operated valve is equivalent to generated vapors inside the ammonia storage tank. This is about the facility and instrumentation about the ammonia storage tank. And we also supply ammonia to urea plant in case of ammonia plant load reduced in any case. So we have facility to supply ammonia to the urea plant for manufacturing of the urea. Next. Why was tank decommissioning is required? So very important. Since 1988, our ammonia storage tank are in line. In 2001, we have decommissioning once after the 17 year. Now, in 2022, we again decommission and recommission the ammonia storage tank. Why? After 33 years of service of this refrigeration ammonia tank, there is a chances of stress corrosion cracking, pitting, or any discontinuity to ascertain the health and mechanical integrity of the ammonia storage tank. And it is also mandatory. It is in India, it is not required to inspect the ammonia storage tank by any of act or rule, even though it is the duty of the company for the safety of purposes or mechanical integrity point of view, that they shall be checked all the such type of the storage. Those are highly hazard for not only for the employees and nearby community. So it was decided we have to commission or recommission that plant, and this is not for the statutory requirement, for the inspection as per accordance of 653, API 653. What is the API 653? This is tank inspection, repair, alteration, and reconstruction of this. Joby oil, those are in oil and gas industry. They know about the American Petroleum Institute. उनके जो है 700 जो है guidelines. They have 700 and more guidelines for ammonia for oil and gas sectors, especially ammonia. And API 620 is constructing a new above ground tank, and this API 653 recognizes fitness for the services. API 653 recommends an inspection interval shall not exceed 20 years. This is the recommendation of API, and tank 2301 is completed 20 years of service for last inspection. Decommissioning activities for the safe man entry, kick-off meeting, followed by the HAZOP. And a team is prepared with the consultant for decommissioning, participating in chemical engineers, process engineer, production engineer, safety engineers, and consultant. Line by line, HAZOP is carried out, and how we separate the ammonia storage tank, blind list was prepared, and checklist is also prepared, and reviews the SOPs. Isolation of tank from ammonia product is the first step. All the inlet lines or outlet lines was isolated and put figure 8 blinds to reverse conditions. Then we emptied out the ammonia storage tank as much as possible up to lowest level. Then disperse the ammonia vapors by nitrogen. And the very common procedure for the purging in oil and gas sector. Purging is a very important activity for the oil and gas sector. So disperse the ammonia vapors through the nitrogen. It will take 10 days to remove the ammonia vapor, and the concentration 2% by volume as per API. And the flow of ammonia, flow of nitrogen, inert gas is kept from 300 to 350 normal meter cube per hour. Process line, naturally, naturally we have to empty out and purge the process line. Those are connected with the ammonia storage tank inlet or outlet. Then introduction of atmospheric air. Because all the activities is not possible without in confined space without the percentage of air is 19.5%, more than 19.5%. So all the introduction of atmospheric job from drain line. From drain lines, we have connected the plant air at a 3 kg pressure, 3 kg centimeter cube gauge, and flow maintained approximately 400 meter cube. The tank is now safe and ready for decommissioning. The value of ammonia is reaches below TLV, TWA value, that is 25 ppm, and the stale value of ammonia is 35 ppm, and IDS value is 300 ppm. The confined space entry inside the tank. After opening main hole, outer shell and inner shell, and toolbox stock is very important before entry, and first time entry for oil sludge cleaning or visual inspection is not possible without cleaning of tank oil sludge. And nobody is permitted without online air mask or proper PPEs inside the tank, not be allowed. And these are the few photographs below, and safety measures taken during the confined space entry. Air sample is, air is more than 19.5, and personal monitor, air monitoring and personal ammonia monitoring is also kept along with the, those are entering in the ammonia storage tank first time. Safety permit as important, and toolbox stop as is important. Separate confined entry checklist was prepared and follow all the points rigorously. And confined space entry registers is also maintained. Availability of continuous respiratory despite of ammonia concentration is that time below TLV, TWA value, or and provision of communication system, 24 volt of lamp, ventilation inside, and additional air hose is provided from the main hole to the inside the tank. Next, innovative idea. During the reclaiming of oil and cleaning of oil, all of a sudden, the ammonia concentration inside the tank has increased. It reaches 300 ppm because this we say in safety language hidden hazard, because ammonia this oil liberate ammonia when we are going to cleaning ammonia, reclaiming the ammonia, so it's ammonia sludge, the oil sludge releases the ammonia. So now it is not possible to bring down the ammonia concentration below 300, below up to 25 ppm. So an innovative idea we have put there. We have used catalyst vacuum blower, suction hose of catalyst vacuum blower at the center of the tank. The capacity of this blower is too high, and it generates minus 650 mm of water column, and top dome main hole, top main hole is open, and ammonia suck and discharge at the blower discharge. And it is also decided a spray of water is put inside the tank, not much, a small quantity. And this innovative idea works very well. And the ammonia concentration came down to 20 ppm. And that time, the air concentration was there is about 20%. And ammonia concentration is 20 ppm. These now the tank is ready for inspection after cleaning. These different NDT test was performed. Details, you can see the details of these NDT test in my article, in our article published in this. These are the bottom plate visual inspection, ultrasonic thickness test, DP test, phase area ultrasonic test, magnetic particle test, magnetic flux leakage, metallurgy test, radiography test, carbonization of concrete, round hammer test, rebound hammer test, ultrasonic pulse velocity, half cell penetration test, hydropneumatic test, wet fluorescent magnetic test, and vacuum box leak testing of tank. These are some glimpses of the photographs of ammonia storage tank, which are during the NDT test. Now, working at height, dome is a very high. It is not possible to make scaffolding at that height. It is risky. And even though the load on the bottom plate of maybe a cause or destroy the bottom plate. So we have used a rope access system. There is an international association is there, that is International Rope Access Trade Association, IRATA UK. We asked to bring certified rope assessor for this job, and these rope assessors are very much educated. He know about the NDT test. He is well known of the NDT test, and one is certificate level 3 holder and two are level 2 holders. They work with rope access and safely and lesser time than the scaffold erected. These are the middle one is the photograph of dome, and these are they use double lifeline or auto lock harness, full body harness, and ascender, descender, and rope grab access for the using work at a height. Recommissioning activities, after all the NDT test is completed, tank found suitable to use, then recommissioning activities is started. First, hydropneumatic test is very important for ammonia storage tank. Then this is fill up with concern with PDIL. We asked to PDIL. Now the tank is 33-year-old. At what level we fill the water? So he suggested that you have to fill the water up to 75% of the capacity of that. So we fill the water at 13.4 meter. And finally, hydropneumatic test has been completed. With the help of the hydropneumatic test, inspection of attached flanges is also be carried out. By this test, nitrogen purging, then we started the nitrogen purging. We bring the percentage up to the 2%. Then after the nitrogen purging, ammonia vapors start entry, putting in the tank. And then it will take 4 days. Slowly ammonia is fed from the top sparger, and all the ammonia is went through the vent header to the flare stack, and ammonia label is start coming up. The recommissioning activity is completed. Now the tank is safe for again use. This total time taken is 7 months. We started this activity in May 22 and bind up this activity in November. Recommendation and conclusion, the tank is now in continuous operation for last 34 years. It is planned to inspect before as per API in 32. Entire project of 7 months, zero incident, zero near miss, very minimal modifications is required. Minimum consumption of nitrogen, water and electricity, and very extensive inspection, and the schedule is completed in 7 months. Thank you.
Thank you, Pandey sir. Before going to the next presentation, I welcome Sri R. Selvaraj ji, the co-chairman of today's session. He is a former senior DGM in charge of boiler production unit 2 of BHEL Trishnapalli, making once through supercritical boilers up to 800 megawatt. He is the former chairman II Trishnapalli local center and having the 4 decades of experience of subcritical to supercritical boilers. Basically, he is an production engineer from NIT Trichy and post-graduation in manufacturing from NIT Trichy, and also he is pursuing their PhD and near about to completion from Annamalai University in supercritical boilers and welding. And he also published 5 research papers during their PhD. So I welcome Sri Selvaraj sir in this session. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Pandey. So better I suggest that we take the question session along with the presentation. So if any question from the audience, from the participant is there, you can ask. Please, somebody help to give a mic over there. If you say the question.
Hello. Thank you for your nice presentation. Sir, I have one doubt. Basically, what is the procedure for horizontal rescue? If any person is trapped inside the ammonia tank at the time of dismantling, we can rescue from the vertical positions or in vertical way. There are some instruments are available in the market and otherwise. But if a person is, we have to rescue in the horizontal manner, like through the COD. Any kind of procedure you are following? From the ammonia tank.
The question is not clear.
Like if any person is trapped between inside the ammonia tank,
Okay.
and we have to rescue in a horizontal manner.
Okay. Yeah.
Then what is the method you are adopting, sir?
Yeah, we have a provision there. We have a debit there, and with the help of a debit, we can pull the person there. We have made such type of the arrangements is also there.
Sir, I need regarding the clarification, what is the equipment you are using or any kind of stretcher beds or what is the method, exact method, sir?
We put the debit system is there, a wire rope with the help of the wire rope and safety belt, full body safety harness is there, and we hook this debit in the full body harness, and we can pull the person from the main hole. The system was there and working very well. But we have not bring such condition because we have given the personal monitor is also provided there to each person for the concentration of the ammonia and for the air, for the oxygen. When percentage of ammonia increases, it will gives the beep, and we instructed all the person, those are inside the tank, they come out if the ammonia concentration increase or the oxygen level decreases. Our one safety person is always there. So there is no chance to increase the ammonia percentage or decrease the oxygen percentage inside the tank. We have put the sufficient number of the air hoses inside the tank.
Okay, I think this is fairly good reply. I suggest that on the sideline or during the tea break also you can further discuss it. So any more questions? Otherwise we move ahead. Any more question, or you can discuss it with Mr. Pandey during tea time also. So okay, thank you so much. Then we move on to Mr. Sahi, Chandan Sahi. Is it like that? No? Mr. Chandan Sahi. Mr. Chandan Sahi is from NTPC and he works as AGM Safety, and he will be talking about Safety Act Index. So that's a very interesting to learn, to know about it. So over to you, Mr. Chandan Sahi. You have 20 minutes time.
Respected Chairman, respected Co-Chairman, Moderator, my fellow keynote speakers, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning at the outset. So today my topic is Safety Act Index. So starting with the first premise, you must have conviction in that all accidents are preventable. Whatever meetings are there, we start with this premise. This needs to be re-emphasized at all intervals. If we have conviction in this, we can achieve incident-free operation. Pardon. You said something? Okay. Moving on to the next slide. For us, the definition of safety is sustained and accident-free environment throughout the year. And ladies and gentlemen, how do we achieve it? It is searching for hazard, analyze risk, find cause, eliminate the cause, tell others you are safe. And the picture in the middle you are seeing is Safety Temple. It is right there next to the main gate. So the workers, before entering their workplace, what they do is they offer their obeisance to Lord Vishkarma and take a pledge of working safely, of removing unsafe conditions. And what does Lord Vishkarma ask in return? Offerings are in the form of suggestion. Suggestion box is kept there. So this is the way we ensure a foolproof safety culture. Now, the Safety Act Index, I believe, is a new concept. This we started in the month of May 2023. Primary function of this concept is to observe unsafe acts, unsafe behavior. And I also have a background in management, and I read Management by Walking Around by Tom Peters. So why can't we do management by walking around? And we can achieve our objective if we can have an average of 2 hours per day in the site. As yesterday Mr. Saurabh Srivastava was also saying, you need to have a bonding with the workers. That bonding will come when you have an average of 2 hours spent in the site every day, ladies and gentlemen. And what you do is you observe unsafe act behavior from a distance. Because once you go there, seeing you that you are there with a green helmet, people will adjust their chin strap. If they're not wearing the gloves, they will put on their gloves. They'll put on their, the goggles. And, this was the premise when we rolled it out, because it is there in the, because you cannot fault the workers. They are not literate. They have to be empowered. As yesterday, R.K. Jain Saab, MD, Dedicated Freight Corridor, was mentioning the 3 E's. So the 3 E's is, first of all, the engineering, education. So you have to educate them, empower them. Enforcement comes at a very later stage. And how do you educate and empower them? Is by imparting training on a daily basis, because that is the most important leading factor. You cannot fault them for their unsafe behavior. So the premise is that when you have to catch them doing right things, not catch them doing the wrong things. You observe from a distance and you see the behavior. If it is repeated, a person is repeatedly doing it, only then you have to go for a progressive disciplining system. So through this presentation, first of all, we'll come to know what is Safety Act Index, what are the calculations involved. Then we understand the plotting of this Safety Act Index, because if you have a continuously downward behavior, downward index, then 100% there's a wake-up call that is an incident or injury is round the corner. And what is the role of Safety Act Index in establishing the safety culture? Now, it is a tool for capturing the unsafe act and behavior and plotting the trend. Worldwide, you see, more than 90% of the accidents which happen, the root cause is not unsafe condition, the root cause is unsafe behavior of the worker. So you need to correct that behavior. The safety message is to be bombarded all the time. So what we have done is, in all the lifts, the safety songs are being played. So in case the worker has forgotten about the safety message, he gets the reminder about that. And Safety Act Index, which quantitatively represents the plotting of unsafe practices, which is further used to monitor the trend and then take the corrective actions. Now, yesterday this was being deliberated that in spite of established safety rules, innumerable standard operating procedures, the caution notices, the permit system, the toolbox talk, everything is there. But why the incidents are happening? There's only one cause, that is unsafe behavior. Ladies and gentlemen, if you can stop all the meetings for one particular day and go to the site and interact with the workers, you just see what is the, the effect of that. Because the worker also feels important. So what we have done is, every Friday, our top management conducts mass pep talk. They come to know what is the pulse of the workers, then take a safety walk down. So you have to have that connect with the workers. Until and unless you have that, and that is the way how you lead by example. Every week, if your top management, your business unit head interacts with the worker, takes a safety walk down, then workers also feel they are valued for, they are felt important. Now, Safety Act Index helps us to find out the unsafe act and behavior of the workers. It shows the opportunity and area of concern with respect to the unsafe behavior. And once you have noticed that unsafe behavior, you have to go to the root cause. Yesterday, Mr. Jain was explaining about that train accident in Japan. So, there are underlying causes, which is unsafe act, unsafe condition. But then you have to, go to the root cause of the incident. There was one incident that, EOT crane was going, and in this, both the hooks were being used. And when one of the auxiliary hook was given a command, and it didn't operate, it hit the crab of the EOT crane, and then the hook fell, and an accident happened. But you know, technology will fail someday or the other. But the root cause was, and the main important thing is, you don't have to stand underneath the suspended load. So that is the root cause. So if you can teach the worker and empower the worker, because supervision at all places is not possible. So what you have to do is, you make supervision, not at all necessary. You empower your workers. So how can you empower the workers? Is by observing their behavior, having a connect with them, having a dialogue with them, having a rapport with them, and giving a training. You know, they will automatically imbibe the safety culture. Now coming to the calculations. So once you go to the site, what you have to do is, you have to see what is the unsafe act and the behavior, how many workers are involved. If there are, say, 2 unsafe acts, so you have to have a weighted average of that, and then you have severity. You have to rank on a scale from 2 to 10 or 1 to 10, that what is the severity of that, and weighted average. Once you have calculated, Safety Act Index is the inverse of that. So I'll explain. I have many case studies here of what we have done in the month since May till August. And the desired level for ensuring safety is 1. So this index will vary from 0 to 1. So this is an example I have taken. So 2nd of May in the township auditorium building, we found that there were 2 workers without wearing reflective jacket. And ladies and gentlemen, because of the lack of reflective jacket, there have been fatal accidents across the industry, not only in India, but in abroad also. So for not wearing reflective jacket during the daytime, we have given a severity of 4. And since 2 workers were involved, so the weighted average becomes 2 into 4 divided by the number of workers. So this is 4. You inverse 4 and you get the safety index 0.25. So 0.25 is on the lower side. So this was the month which we had rolled out this index. So this is the Safety Act Index plotting for the month of May. So when we started, the index was hovering around, the average level 0.57, not hardly reaching 1 on some of the days. And the basic premise is, you don't have to let this index falling day after day. So you have to have an action plan so that it bounces back. In case there is a progressive decline, the 100% chances a near miss incident or injury is round the corner. So you have to take care of this. Now, another incident I have shown, 2 workers found without hand gloves. And without hand gloves also, many cases it has led to reportable injury. So you have to take care of that. And again, we have given a severity of 4 on a scale of 10. So again, the index, the safety index is 0.25. So this is plotted. Now, for the month of August, since we had rolled it out in the month of May, so we were able, because in this, our township, the construction activity is going on in the auditorium building, and the height work is involved at 13 meters. So this exercise, we are doing it day in and day out there, because since it's a construction site. So this is the average is 0.75. So from the month of May to August, we were able to bring it from 0.57 to 0.75. Another example we have taken is one worker working at approximately 4 meters height without wearing full body harness. Let me give you a brief about this. You must have heard about a particular gang called Malda gang. They are experts in working at height, but at times they indulge in acrobatics. So I had to personally tell them, you are not here to perform circus. What you have to do is, if you are working at height, you have to ensure the safety measures. So here, for not wearing safety belt, there have been incidences where the person has fallen from a height of 2.5 meters and met with a fatal accident. So we have given a severity of 9. So you can see 1 into 9 is 9. Inverse of that is 0.11, which is an atrocious level of safety act index. So there, this required our immediate attention. So we didn't penalize this worker. What we did is we called the agency people, discussed with them at length that this has to be ensured that all the people working at height, whatever is the rule is above 2 meters, you have to put on the safety harness. Now, for this, the average was 0.86. And just because of this, a lot of painstaking efforts taken, every day we are visiting that site and not at a particular time, mind you. So you have to go at different points of time. Otherwise, the workers will get conditioned. And once you are going at 10 a.m. every day, so after your visit, they'll come back to their normal self. So you have to make them alert. Because yesterday it was said that alert today and alive tomorrow. So this needs to be practiced. We have to do walk the talk. So then you can see the other two cases, the 2 workers without reflective jacket and 1 worker again. You just see this picture on the second item, the second number. 1 worker is working with safety harness. His colleague is not doing that. So this is also a cause for concern. Immediately we swung into action, and you can see again the index is 0.14. So this we have done, and now the average has come to 0.92. There are few examples from our plant. Of course, it is a commissioned plant since 2020. So, but still, there are cases, as you can see in this case, 6 numbers of workers seated at staircase near booster fan without safety helmet. Do you think they are not aware about the consequences of not wearing the safety helmet? They are aware. But still, it is a behavior, unsafe behavior of the worker, which has to be observed and, corrective action taken. And 1 worker was without chin strip. If you are working at ground level, if you're not wearing, doesn't matter. You can ignore. But then to ensure foolproof safety, what we do is we ask all the workers at all points of time, they have to wear the chin strip also. Otherwise, it becomes a style statement with the workers not to put on the chin strip. So this we have plotted for the month of May in our plant. Index was 0.80. That was the average. And just you can see the another example. 2 workers found without reflective jacket and 1 worker without safety helmet. You just see, this keeps on happening. It's not that it happened in our industry. It happens in all the industries. So you have to be a bit, have a connect, that is the management by walking around unless you do it. I mean, you cannot manage safety sitting in your seat. I mean, you have to go to the site, have a connect and the bonding with the people. So this we have calculated, and this was 0.15. And then this particular case, I need to emphasize, this was the time of overhauling in which multiple agencies were involved. There were 4 agencies involved. 1 agency was permanently established with us, so there were hardly any safety deviations. But the other 3, you see, the index has come down, 0.15, 0.11, 0.22, and this like this, most of the time hovering around the lower level. So this, what we did was, we had 2 safety engineers posted round the clock in the boiler area and the turbine area. Then my 3 safety stewards were there. Apart from this, a safety officer and the head of the safety also used to take surprise rounds. And what we did was we ensured that 40 days of overhauling went peacefully without any incident. And then how did we reward the workers was we held a bhandara, langar for the workers to give them the message that this is the thanksgiving from our side for the safe working. So this is, leading by example. the leadership comes into picture. And this worker, the welding, he was doing a welding work at 3 meters height without wearing full body harness. I mean, even if it is a welder, he can fall from height. One misstep, and this can lead to a fatal accident. So not wearing safety belt, 9 was the severity considered, and the safety index was 0.11. So this, there was marginal improvement next month. In the month of July, the index climbed from 0.53 to 0.66. Of course, there were unsafe behavior because, I mean, it cannot be corrected in a single month. It will take months together. You have to be in a site, and all your painstaking efforts will be a result only after considerable, because you cannot have a big improvement overnight. Improvements will come only in small steps. And then you have okay, I'll wind up in the next 2 minutes. Our new reservoir is being constructed. 2 workers were doing the leveling work without gum boots and without the reflective jackets. And the safety index, as you can see in the calculation, came down to 0.14. So this was plotted the month of August. So right now, what are the precautions you have to take while carrying out? I'll give you the references, because this Safety Act Index is a concept given by a foreign author. I chanced upon his book, Partnering for Safety and Business Excellence, Richard Knowles. You can also see, and it's a wonderful concept. It was first practiced in DuPont. So what you have to consider is, audit team requires a sense of judgment, shared sense of judgment regarding the severity. I mean, if there are 3 judges, they should have a common point of understanding. It's not like that one jury member is giving a severity of 7, another one is giving 3. So that is one precaution. And then it is not to be used as a disciplinary tool. Ladies and gentlemen, if you start using it as a disciplinary tool, the message is not going to be conveyed, and people will turn defensive. I mean, you have to show that you are empathetic. You have an empathy for them. Only then you get the desired results. And then audit members need to be replaced at an interval of 6 months. You cannot allow head of safety and head of business excellence to continue for years together as jury members, as observers of Safety Act Index. And then conclusion. The underlying factor for incidents taking place in the factory is unsafe work of the behaviors. It is a powerful tool to address the unsafe behavior of the workers, and it is not to be used as a disciplinary tool. However, if a same person is doing that day in and day out, then of course you have to have a corrective action. And the learning or the information developed is for the improvement of the safety culture. And this concept is still evolving in our plant, because before coming to this, to present this, I had shown it to my the site management committee members. They gave some very valid inputs. I incorporated it. Of course, in the book, it is written severity 1 to 3. But our site management committee members said, no, you please incorporate severity from 1 to 10, because then it will reflect in a better way. It will be, and this has to be used by each and every agency. Our business unit head gave this decision that it's not the purview of safety department or the business excellence department. Every agency and every EIC has to use it. Only then it becomes important for establishing, the right or the foolproof safety. So with this powerful statement that excellence in safety is a result of excellence in leadership, yesterday this was being deliberated, how you walk the talk. So this is the way how you walk the talk. Thank you for your patient hearing.
Very nice, Mr. Sahi. Rightly said that yes, all accidents are preventable, but the accidents do happen. And when you analyze it, behavior is always there. So, and out of those behaviors, 20% is because of the errors, but 80% are because of negligence or deviations or not following the SOP. So very nicely brought out a new concept. So I now invite questions from the audience, and please raise your hand and please provide him the mic. Huh? Please introduce yourself to the gathering and then ask your question.
Hello, I am J.K. Bhatti, former Additional General Manager from RISE. Sir, it was really excellent presentation.
Thank you.
And you have covered a lot within 15 to 20 minutes. My question is, if you see in India, most of the people, they are illiterate, whosoever is working at the ground level, so far as the workers are concerned. With the inclusion of the artificial intelligence, how do you see that it will be helpful and it will really minimize the accidents in future?
Yeah, it's a good question. Regarding the artificial intelligence, we already have the virtual reality module rolled out in our plant. So we have 3 people trained in that. And every day we have a training on one of the 23 safety modules which were rolled out during Sir's tenure, Sinha Saab. So actually the thing is, when every day you have training on one topic or the other, after the training gets over, so what we do is, already the workers are assembled in the Safety Excellence Center. What we do is, we choose a few of them and make them go through that VR module. We have 2 instruments, Oculus brand from Facebook. So they are made aware of what are the actions to be taken if you are normalizing or isolating electrical equipment. What are the measures you have to take while you are working at height? So likewise, I said that the safety message has to be played or bombarded, I mean, at all times. I mean, how do you address the behavior? Behavior is by talking about safety at all the times, impressing about that we genuinely care for your well-being, your safety. So that is how we do it. Not only we use the help of the technology, but we do the site visits also. So that is how the use of artificial intelligence is captured.
Sir, can you give me any one example with your vast experience? If any corrective actions has been taken so far as the instruments such as boilers who have indicator is concerned,
Can
you give any one example of your experience that this was the area where the people have not gone through and the accidents has happened so many times? Any one area with your past experience?
Yeah, I'll give you an example. And the measure which we took in the month of January. You know, the last fatal accident which took place was in May 2018. And that was the peak construction time. In boiler unit 2, 63 meters, a worker was working. He had put on the safety harness and it was anchored also. But at 9:30 or 9:40, he got a call. He used a mobile phone and he removed the anchorage, and he was there, and the sidewise the barricade was missing because it was 2nd of May, 1st May was a holiday. I'm just giving you the brief background of that. And he fell and it turned into a fatal accident. So that was a wake-up call, and what we have been observing for the last 2 years is that even climbing down the stairs, climbing up the stairs, workers are glued to their smart mobiles. So I gave the input to my business unit head, and he took a decision within a week. All the smart mobiles for 2,200 workers were banned in one go. They were allowed only to use the feature phone. And this has really reaped us rich dividends, because mobile, as yesterday the gentleman from railway safety was mentioning, 800 accidents because of the use of mobile phones. So this is a big distraction, although we have allowed them the feature phone, and that too only for a select group of supervisors whose work is indispensable without use of mobile phone. So this is a major distraction, and believe me, if you can implement the banning of smart mobile for the workers, I mean, half your job is done. This is a major learning, and this, you know, we were evaluated by the FICCI Safety System Excellence Award. They were speaking highly of our plant about this measure, and most of the NTPC plants were inquiring that how you have, what is the modus operandi of implementing this. So we have shared with the other plants also that banning of mobile phones is a must, because this is a major distraction. I mean, they will put on the, even, you know, the Hydra operators, they will put on the earphones and they're driving. I mean, incident which took place in one of the plants, the EOT crane operator given the command to the auxiliary hook to go up, and then he's indulging in the mobile phone in the talk. So these things you need to do to ensure a foolproof safety.
Thank you, sir.
Excuse me.
Yeah. Please introduce yourself.
Yeah.
And please be brief.
Definitely. I am S.K. Popli, Advisor Road Safety, National Highway Authority of India. So basically, expressing the index in the scale of 0 to 1, can it be done in the percentage form? Because in the same way I did for safety rating of highways, where I represented 1 to 100%. If I simply multiply it by 0.11 to 100, it will reflect 100, 11%, 20%, 30%. That gives more confidence in the safety rating. That's all.
So you are absolutely right. As I said, that this tool is still evolving. We have also done many changes as mentioned in that book, Partnering for Safety and Business Excellence by Richard Knowles. So certainly you can do it. Basically, the thing is you have to depict how safe the behavior of workers is there. You can display as an index or as a percentage. You can very well do it. There's no harm in that. You have to just ensure the considerations which I had mentioned, not to be used as a disciplinary tool, because then the message is lost, and then the shared sense of judgment among the jury members or the observers, and then you have to change the observers at a frequency of 6 months so that more people can be brought on board. So these are the precautions you have to take. And mind you, this is a very powerful tool. We have really observed the beneficial effects of this tool.
Yes, sir. Hello. So I have a question.
I am really sorry to say that, because we are already running out of time. You can talk to Mr. Sahi during sideline talks.
Sure.
So thank you, Mr. Sahi, and all participants who have been very generous in talking. So we now move ahead to invite Mr. Agrawal, Sanjeev Agrawal, who was a past committee member of IEI, DSC. We will be talking about challenges of electrical safety and significance of earthing. So over to you, Mr. Agrawal. Please go ahead to the dais. Thank you.
Good morning, respected chairman of the session, co-chairman, moderator, fellow speakers, and other dignitaries of the dais, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not a very big expert of the electrical safety, but I can tell you one thing, that electrical disaster can happen at any point of time. There is no need to go on extreme side. It can happen here also. You might have remember in last few days back during the monsoon season, there is one incident happened at New Delhi railway station, where one lady came out from the auto and she just touched the pole of electrical pole, and where there was a nude wire that was not wrapped properly by the tape, because we give usually the assignment of electricity fitting to the mechanic, which is not so qualified, and he doesn't know the proper parameters have to follow during the workmanship. So that is what was there only. there was only one nude point where we have to wrap by a proper taping, electrical tape that is a black color, any color. But that small incident took the life of one lady because she was going somewhere to Bhopal for a important work. Even here, that can happen. Like you have seen that the pedestrian fans are there everywhere during the summer season. Sometime one of my friend, when somebody asked him, please shift the fan from here to there, he used to shift the fan, and that time he just stuck with that. वो उसके साथ चिपक गया, and on the spot he died. So what I want to say for the electrical safety, we have to just follow the basic ethics. Because one एक चिंगारी आपको बहुत ब्लास्ट कर सकती है. ये जरूरी नहीं कि आप यहीं पर बैठे हैं, आपके प्रॉपर साइट्स पे हैं. जैसे अभी साई साहब ने बताया कि लाइक मोबाइल इज अ वेरी big cause of incidents happening, because while we are charging the mobile, our sockets are not properly inserted. From there, the spark can take place, and that can be results into a big, hazard of the. So, like you have seen that in the cities, the open wires are going on. अब वो इतने सारे वायर होते हैं, बैंडर्स ने लगाए होते हैं, आपस में क्रॉस कर रहे होते हैं. इवन Kirchhoff electrical law is failed there. Kirchhoff even cannot find out what is the law can be followed because that is a meshed wire. So I'll discuss here the day-to-day problems of electricity hazards and how we can manage them by using the proper earthing. So let's start with the first case. Electrical accident gives pain always because, as I told you, that a very small incident at the New Delhi railway station, where that was very small negligence took the life. So electrocution kills nearly 30 Indians per day. You can imagine how long is the data for that. That is due to the small negligence only. Electrocution of humans. आपने देखा कि वो खंबे को पकड़ने से like she touches the pole, so electricity flows through the body and goes through earth. That is electrocution of humans during the touching of the poles or naked wire. Even it can be happen with the animals also. Like animals are trapped in the jungle, sometimes open wires are running there, so even animals can die with that. So there is a short circuit concept for every hazards of electricity. Like current has to flow from generator to load. But what happens that does not follow the actual assigned path, that moves in short circuiting way and follow the second path, which can be any value. Like if we designed a circuit for 15 ampere, but in case of short circuiting, it can be multiple fold times. It can be many folds. So even it can break out the insulation of the wire, and the hazards can be happen there. Even the fuel, any type of fuel is there, and with the oxidation, it can be turned into a big fire. So it should be also avoided on the site. Equipment and neutral earthing is required. Generally, we do the earthing of the equipments with the metallic part, but neutral earthing is also nowadays required for the proper earthing, so that the excess current through the neutral can be grounded. Like if we see the analogy of fault current path, like patient has to go to hospital, if he found the proper path, he can reach on time and life can be saved. Like similarly, our costly appliances should obey the actual path and our current should be free of any hazard, free of any resistance, can be reached to source. Similarly, if we see the fault current, this is the ideal situation when patient is moving to hospital. If the road is without any obstruction, so no accident will be happen. Similarly, if the current is moving with the suitable path, so the accident can be avoided. Like if we are having the proper resistance of the wire, proper rating, proper insulation, so hazards can be avoided there also. So the facts which we should understand, that mobile phone charger like Mr. Sai told, ki mobile phone chargers having the 2 pin, it must be having 3 pin at least, so that the one point can be dedicated to earthing, and which could be avoid the small cause. So let us begin with that. We should not overloaded the. हमारे पास जनरली एक्सटेंशन कॉर्ड्स होते हैं, we overloaded the extension cord. So many wire puts by the workers, by the engineers on the site, like without knowing the rating of that, we insert that. So we should avoid that, because spark can take place there, and that can be converted into a big hazard. Similarly, unplugging the appliances, like while we are not using the laptops, any appliances, we should switch off, and better to plug off that also, because there is a leakage current always going on in the circuit, which may harm the devices as well as the it may can turn into an accident also. Like loose connection must be avoided. This is also day-to-day things we have to learn. Extension cords should only be used on temporary basis. Like what we have seen in so many sites, that electricity has been provided using the extension cord. That should be a temporary arrangement, not a permanent arrangement, because that extension cord may lead a accident at the site also. Never plug a space heater or any heavy loads into an extension cord or power strip, because power strip designing is not for the heavy load. So we should use proper socket for using the power strips. Next is never run cords under rugs, carpets, door or windows. Generally हम तार जमीन के नीचे से लेके जाते हैं. In case of any installation failure, that spark can take place, and that can convert into a big hazard even here also. If the wires are running inside the carpet, so due to the insulation rugging, there may be spark takes place, so that situation should be avoided. Make sure extension cord do not become tripping hazards. Like extension cord should not be in the passage where the persons are moving or workers are moving, because when there is a push on that, the spark may take place there also. Keep papers and other potential combustible at least 3 feet away from space heaters and the other heating sources which are on the site. Make sure you use proper rating illuminating fitting or illumination lamps, so that we can see the source of the hazard there. Make sure your home has smoke, like sites can have the smoke detection devices also, so that whenever there is a spark, smoke can be detected by using that. Ensure proper earthing grounding based on the requirement of the site. Generally earthing be generally avoided. We don't know what is the proper earthing. Nowadays, proper earthing is very much required due to the sensitivity of the equipments, which required very good care of the overrating of the current. So proper earthing must be employed there. Proper selection of MCB is also required, as I told you, in day-to-day life. Harmonics, like in the gadgets with less harmonics, we should use a filters device there. In other words, we can say that good quality of devices we should use on the site. Proper selection of cables and wire must be there. Good quality of gadgets. Also not use outdated, out-damaged gadget appliances on the site. Proper maintenance of equipments and gadgets. Avoid use of outdated equipments. Like if a motor is very old, so better is to change that motor on the site, because firstly it will consume more power, because nowadays there is a motors which consume less power, and second it can be hazardous also in future, because there is a life of insulation wire that may be have completed. So better to change the device within the specified period suggested by the engineers. Proper protection system coordination should be followed on the site. Regularly inspect the points where the electricity is feed in the devices. Main cause of death is that electrode usage, like अर्थिंग में प्रॉपर करंट नहीं जा रही है, then this can be go through the human being and human being can die on the spot. So earthing should be proper on the devices. Like this is another reason for earthing की वजह से. So earthing के लिए concept of earthing is all the people living or working in residential or commercial and residential area, particularly the operators and personnel who are in close operation and contact with electrical system and machines should essentially be protected against possible electrification. To achieve this protection, earthing system of an installation is defined, designed and installed according to the standard requirements. What is earthing? Basically, the process of, you might have know everybody, because this is not a very, very vast fund. The process of connecting metallic bodies of all the electrical apparatus and equipments to huge mass earth by having negligible resistance is called earthing. So, purpose of earthing is to save human life, to protect building machinery and appliances under fault, to provide safe path to dissipate lighting and short circuit, to provide a stable platform for operation of sensitive electronic devices, to provide protection against static electricity from friction. What is electric shock? When high voltage involved, the body is literally cooked and just explodes. Like in high tension wire is running above the ground. Like in the kite flying situation, we have seen that even the maja which we use for the kite flying, when it is stuck with the high tension line, it explodes our body because the high voltage running over there. So earthing can be of so many types, like plate earthing can be there, which is very old, pipe earthing, rod earthing, strip earthing, earthing through water mains also. Earthing electrodes, the resistance of ground electrode have three components basically. The resistance of the ground electrode itself and the connection to the electrode. Number two is the contact resistance of the contact resistance of the surrounding earth to the electrode, the resistance of the surrounding body of earth around the ground. Electrode, it consists of three basic components: earth wire, connector, and electrode. Next is plate earthing. Like plate earthing, you might have know what is plate earthing. And this is the method of plate earthing. We dig a hole inside the earth, and one plate is dipped there and connected with the rod or wire, proper rating. Similarly, pipe earthing is there, and rod earthing is also there. In this system of earthing, 12.5 millimeter diameter solid rods of copper, 60 millimeter diameter solid rod of GI or steel, or hollow section of 25 GI pipe of length not less than 3 meters are driven vertically into the earth. In order to increase the embedded length of electrode under the ground, which is sometimes necessary to reduce the earth resistance to desired value, more than one rod sections are hammered one above the other. This system of earthing is suitable for area which are sandy in character. Sandy areas ke liye this is better. This system of earthing is very cheap. Strip or wire earthing, this is done like this. So basically electrical safety is a habit basically. So we should take place. Like एक real example मैं आपको बताता हूँ. Like आपने अभी हमने बताया कि overhead wires are there, but nowadays in the NDMC area there is so many agencies have laid their wires inside the earth. ST wire भी वहीं से जा रहा है, telephone wire भी वहीं से जा रहा है, GI IGL की line भी उधर से ही जा रही है. तो sometime what happen in our exchange, अपना कार्ड बार बार जल जाता था. Our card of the exchange burnt out. देखा गया तो रीजन पाया गया कि हमारी जो लाइन जा रही है कॉपर की, our copper wire running beside the high tension voltage line, which cause the induction of the high voltage in our line. So our exchange card burnt. So that should be avoided also. So that's all, and we should take place to avoid to use the healthy habit of the electricity. It should not be ignored. तीन चीज याद रखनी है हमें. Proper earthing करना है, proper earthing adopted, and employ a suitable mechanic or engineer for rating of the wire. And number 3, do not ignore the electricity because it is very, very harmful. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Agrawal, for going to the basics of electrical safety. So I know that there will be a lot of questions in your mind, but because of paucity of time, I request to take those questions during the tea break. So at the end, you want to speak? Okay. Thank you. Thank you all the speakers.
Thank you, sir. Now I request to our co-chairman to summarize the presentation and give their comment in brief.
Respected Gururajaji, our president, our dignitaries, our chairman of the session, speakers, my dear delegates, I'm very happy to summarize today's session 3 proceedings. Really, Mr. A.K. Pandey, DGM, F&S, Chief Security Officer, IFCO Ammonia plant. He talked about safety measures taken during decommissioning and recommissioning of ammonia storage, take T230. He elaborately shared the experience in handling the ammonia during decommissioning and recommissioning. It was a very good presentation, sir, about handling the sensitive ammonia. Moving on to the next second speaker, Sir Chandan Shahi, AGM Safety, NTPC Limited, Cargo Safety Act in India. It's a really very good presentation. He started with saying all accidents are preventable with a positive note. Yes, sir. Thank you. He talked about Safety Act Index. There is an unsafe act and unsafe condition. The unsafe act, how it can be controlled, how it can be monitored and audited like that. Educating about safety to the employees. A downward index is a wake-up call for all the industry people. SA is a tool for capturing the unsafe act behavior of workers and plotting the trend that is led by example. SA helps to understand and find out the unsafe act behavior of workers. Opportunity to improve in the shop floor. He concluded saying that it is unsafe act can be monitored. SA is a powerful tool. SA is not a disciplinary tool. Audit is for learning to improve the safety performance. Excellence, he concluded the excellence in safety is excellence in leadership. This is a very good quote. Then coming to the third speaker, the Sanjeev Agarwal, past committee member, Delhi State Center, he delivered about challenges of electrical safety and significance of earthing. That small instance take the life. So we have to take that earthing is an important thing in our in industry life. Basic ethics of safety to be followed. Mobile charging. You see a lot of news we hearing the small children getting the accident when we charge and left out going to sleep, laptop getting fired, the whole house is fired. So a lot of things. Charging, we should not talk during charging. These are all simple tips. We have to follow it strictly. That's what. There may be urgent call. Let us switch it off and do it. Then fire, we talked about fire triangle, equipment neutral earthing, analogy of fault, giving way ambulance. Then what are the precautions to be followed? And proper earthing and grounding design, proper selection of cables, avoid use of damaged equipments, regular inspection and all. The earthing purpose, various types of the plate earthing, pipe earthing, rod earthing, strip earthing, etc. He ended with a quote, it is not the end, it is just the beginning. So thank you for the chair for giving me opportunity. Anyway, I am hailing from BH, is our NTPC is our major customer. And BHL, we dealt about more than 15,000 employees with more than unit one with the 4 main shop floors. India, Asia's biggest shop floor with some 13 bays, 13 plus 2, 15 bays. And unit 2 with 3 main buildings where I was in charge. And SSTB with a 2 manufacturing plant. We follow a lot of, we are separate HSC department is there. We follow a lot of them. And I faced, for the 4 decades, we faced a lot of accidents from near missing accidents to maximum. The main what our experience says is if you use the proper earthing, proper safety PPE, helmet, this gloves, goggles, and belt, so we can avoid a major one. Not only that, as our first speaker told, second, all the speakers first, that role model. Actually, we have to be the housekeeping, and we regularly get a lot of awards, and we got a lot of experience. What from my experience, what I say is, if we follow the ethics that of safety, that 5 years, that is housekeeping, and we can avoid almost all the accidents in our industry life. So with this, I appreciate all the speakers, and finally I want to appreciate our SQF team, our chairman and secretary and the team has done an excellent job from yesterday. Yesterday I had a galaxy of speakers talk, and they created awareness. Really, it is a 20th convention. I appreciate our team for making such a wonderful service to our engineering fraternity. Really, I appreciate. Actually, I got 3 safety awards from executive director, one for safety steward, safety coordinator, and for achieving many milestones in our BHL life. Really, you are doing very good to our India, Mother India. Thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Now I invite our session chairman, Sri P.K. Sinha, sir, to give their remarks on the presentations.
Thank you, Harish. This is my first time participation in such a elite forum, and that too in a topic wherein we are talking about the basics of safety. Everybody spoke about the basics only, and it's really a wonderful thing to know that going back to basic always works. So I'm not going to talk those things. You already heard them. They were very nice. You must be having many questions. You please talk to them during the break, which is already a little delayed. But then I would like to give 2 things to your thought process. One is that it was already talked that no body should get injured at the workplace. Means there is a concept of zero accident vision, like zero defect, like we talk in the Japanese term, zero defect, zero. So the first thing should be that, yes, there should not be any accident at workplace. So think over it. There are processes by which it can be adopted, and there are a strategy by which it. So first thing is that it should come in our mind that nobody ought to come to get injured at the workplace. Second thing is that behavior control. Our many speakers talked about behavior. Naturally, behavior is the only thing. We know everything, but still there is more than approximately 50,000 accidents on the road. So naturally, we know everything. There are seat belts, but then we somehow it is our behavior. It is not the error. It is said that in our safety community that most of the accidents have behavior. But out of those behavior, 80% is violation. Violation, even you, anybody might be violating. So naturally, unless you go to the basics, this is what is the topic today. So everybody talked well. Just think over it about the zero accident vision. It's a very good concept. It's already available in many of the, I don't have that time, otherwise I would have been a speaker also into that. And then also going to the basics, correcting itself, that will help us a lot. Thanks a lot to the Institute of Engineers, the Extreme Quality Circle, and all the dignitaries present there. Thank you very much to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Sri P.K. Sinha, sir, our session chairman, to give a memento to Sri A.K. Pandey ji. To Sri Chandan Sai ji. To Sanjeev Agrawal ji. Thank you, sir. Now I request to our Sri Dr. T.M. Gunaraja ji to facilitate our co-chairman and chairman of the session. T.M. Gunaraja is the past president of Institution of Engineers India. Now I request Gunaraja sir to give the memento to our co-chairman, Sri Selva sir. Now I request to now request to Rajput sir to give the memento to.
Thank you very much. But we are very late, sir, by 40 minutes. So we have to cover now 40 minutes. How to cover 40 minutes is very simple. Sir, tea break is there. All are requested, kindly take your tea inside the hall so we can start the next session in time. So within 5 to 10 minutes, kindly be seated again and we can start. Mr. Gupta is here. He has promised me that he will cover this time. So I request all of you again, kindly take your tea and with your cup, come inside and we can start the next session. Thank you.
I have taken number of photographs from his mobile.